Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Tommy Podcast on English Every Day. My name is Tommy, and I'm so happy you pressed play today. Honestly, it makes me emotional to know you're there. Maybe walking, maybe drinking some coffee, or maybe lying in bed, letting me be part of your day. Thank you for that. The other day, I got a comment from Anna in our community. Tommy, I listen to your episodes every day while I do the dishes, and it feels like you're sitting at my kitchen table with me. Man, when I read that, my heart smiled. That's exactly the goal here, that you feel you're not alone on this journey. Now, before we dive in, let me play a little with you. Have you clicked the red subscribe button yet? It's right there, poor thing. Shy. Just waiting for your click. Imagine the button looking down, embarrassed, thinking, will today be the day someone clicks me? Go ahead. Give that button a hug. Make it happy. And listen, let me tell you something special. If you stay with me until the end of this episode, I have a little gift for you. It's today's PDF, with all the phrases and expressions we'll practice together. That way, you can review anytime, super fast. But not yet. I'll only share it at the end. Stay with me until then. Deal? Today, we'll talk about a powerful technique that changed the way I practice English. It's called shadowing. Sounds complicated, but it's not. You know when a child copies their parents speaking? Or when we see a parrot repeating words? It's kind of like that. Shadowing is simply listening and repeating at the same time, like being the shadow of the speaker. Nothing technical, nothing hard. It's voice, rhythm, music. And let me be honest with you. In the beginning, I was so embarrassed. I would listen to an English audio and try to repeat, but it felt like I was just twisting my tongue. I thought, this isn't for me. I'll never sound natural like that. Have you ever felt that too? That voice in your head saying it's useless, that you'll never sound confident? Yeah, I've heard that voice too. But then, one day, I was on the subway with my headphones on, and I decided, you know what? I'll practice right here. I played a short English audio and started repeating quietly, following the voice. My way? Kind of messy, but trying. And you know what happened? A lady sitting next to me looked at me, smiled, and said, "You're practicing English, right? Keep going. It's beautiful to see your courage." Wow, that gave me such a boost. I realized it wasn't about speaking perfectly. It was about practicing, about allowing myself to look funny until it became natural. That's what I want to share with you today. If you follow this step by step with me, you'll feel your fluency unlock in just a few weeks. It's not magic. It's practice. Simple, daily, quick practice. Shall we warm up already? I want you to repeat a sentence with me. Close your eyes if you can. Imagine we're sitting face to face, having coffee. I say to you, repeat with me. I can do shadowing. Now say it out loud, even if it's quiet. Go on. I can do shadowing. Do. You feel how your mouth moves in a different way? That's how it starts. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to come out of your mouth. I know you might be thinking, Tommy, but I make mistakes. I freeze. I can't keep up. Relax. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first you fall, lose balance, feel awkward, but every try is won. more step toward balance. You know, I like to think of shadowing as dancing. When you learn a new dance, first you watch. Then you try to copy the steps. You trip. You laugh at yourself. But with time, your body learns the rhythm. And one day, without noticing, you're dancing smooth, natural, almost effortless. English works the same way. So, stay with me. Today I'll show you how to use shadowing in a simple, fun, and transformative way. And remember, at the end, there's the PDF with today's phrases. It will be like your secret notebook. Always ready for a quick review. Now take a deep breath, fix your headphones, because today's journey is just getting started. When I discovered shadowing, I realized it's not about repeating random words. It's about entering the music of the Mao language. It's like when you hear a song you really love. The first time, you just listen. You feel the melody. The second time, you try to hum along. Still a bit lost, but already following. Then, when you get the printed lyrics, boom, you feel part of the music. English can be practiced the same way. I remember once when I was learning a Beatles song. The first thing I did was only listen, no singing. I closed my eyes and let the rhythm sink in. That's also the first stage of shadowing. Before trying to repeat, you just listen. You absorb the story. You understand what's being said. You let the scene build in your mind. It's like watching a movie without subtitles and just feeling the atmosphere. Then comes the second part. I remember that, on the second play, I couldn't resist. I started singing along, even without knowing all the words. My voice stumbled. I swallowed syllables. But I was there, almost on the same beat as the song. That's the heart of shadowing. You listen and repeat at the same time, like an instant echo, like being the shadow of that voice. It's not perfect. It's not 100% in sync. But it's alive. It's real. And here's a detail that makes all the difference. When you have the lyrics in your hand. In my case, I printed the lyrics, and suddenly everything was clear. That word I always mumbled became crystal. With shadowing, it's the same. When you use the transcript in the PDF, you have a map. You don't get lost anymore. Each sentence has a home. Each sound has a face. But not everything works smoothly the first time. I remember one part of the song where the pronunciation was really tricky. I had to go back many times. Play, pause, again. One more time, until my ear and my mouth aligned. That's part of the game. Going back to the hard spots, repeating without hurry. Insisting until the sound feels natural in your mouth. It's like rehearsing a theater scene until your body remembers it on its own. Now, maybe you're thinking, but, Tommy, I don't have 1 hour a day to do this. You don't need it. 5 or 10 minutes can already transform the way you speak. It's like watering a plant. You don't throw a huge bucket of water all at once. You give it a little every day, and suddenly, it's strong, growing, full of life. Let me give you a demonstration now. Imagine we're in your living room. I'll say a sentence slowly, like the rehearsal of a song. Then I'll say it naturally, like in daily life. Your mission is to repeat with me. Ready? First, slowly. I'm learning step by step. Now, natural, in the rhythm of a conversation. I'm learning step by step. Go on, say it with me now. Not only in your head, but out loud. Do you feel how the sound fills the air? That's what builds confidence. When I started practicing this way, I noticed something magical. My mind stopped translating word by word. Instead of thinking, I'm learning step by step in Portuguese and then converting, I just said, I'm learning step by step. It was automatic. It was fluent. Shadowing trains exactly that. Your brain skipping the translation step and going straight to speaking. I like to compare it to riding a bike. At first, you think about every move, pedaling, holding the handlebar, keeping balance. But with practice, you just get on and go. You don't calculate anymore. English needs to become your bike. Shadowing is that training. Now imagine yourself doing this every day, even just 5 minutes. Maybe in the morning while making coffee, or on the bus on your way to work. First, you listen only to feel it. Then, you repeat with me, even if it's clumsy. Next, with the PDF open, you tackle those words that blocked you. And the next day, you do it again. Small, but steady. That's the secret. I've seen people quit because they wanted perfection in the first try. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist. What exists is consistency. Every time you repeat, you lay one brick on the wall of your fluency. One brick a day builds a castle, and if you still doubt it, think about how you learned your first language. You didn't memorize grammar rules at 2 years old. You repeated what you heard. Wrong, messy, but you kept going until one day you were speaking naturally. Shadowing is just an adult way of becoming a child again while learning. So, I want you to commit to this habit. 5 to 10 minutes. Every day. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be constant. You know what I love most about shadowing? It turns practice into something alive, almost like a theater scene. It's not a boring class. It's not about repeating random words. It's like, I'm right here beside you, and we're rehearsing. Together, laughing at the mistakes, celebrating every sentence that sounds more natural. I remember one day I decided to practice early in the morning, still in my pajamas. I was in the kitchen making coffee when I said out loud, "Good morning, how are you?" Right away, my wife looked at me and laughed. "Wait, are you talking to yourself?" And I just said, "No, I'm talking to my invisible teacher." That invisible teacher was the audio I was copying. And you know what? What started as a joke actually helped me loosen up. Step by step, simple sentences started coming out with more confidence. So, let's rehearse together now. Imagine you just opened your door, and I'm there, smiling, waiting for you. I say it slowly, almost spelling it out. Good morning. How are you? Now take a deep breath and repeat with me at this slow pace. Go ahead. Let your voice out. Great. Now I'll say it the way I would in real life, at the natural rhythm of a conversation. Good morning. How are you? Try again, following the flow. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to come out. See that? This is the heart of shadowing. First, you imitate slowly, like a dance rehearsal. Then, you step into the natural rhythm, as if you're already in a real conversation. It's in this game between slow and natural that your mouth starts building confidence. I know at first it can feel strange. Sometimes it feels like you're just repeating without really understanding. But it's like when you practice a song on the guitar. At the beginning, you only memorize the chords. But after many repetitions, the melody becomes part of you. The other day, a friend of mine who's also learning English told me, "Tommy, I freeze when I try to speak, because the sentence just doesn't come." And I asked him, "Have you tried training the way a band rehearses?" He looked confused, so I explained. A band doesn't play the whole song perfectly on the first try. They stop, repeat only the chorus, go back, make mistakes, laugh, and try again. Shadowing is exactly that. You don't need to get everything right at once. You can go back, repeat only a small part until your ear and your mouth meet. Let's test another phrase, like today's chorus. I'll say it slowly first. I'm ready to practice. Now, say it out loud too. It may sound simple, but it's powerful. Ready? Now, at the natural rhythm, like a quick answer to someone asking if you're prepared. I'm ready to practice. Say it with me, as if we were rehearsing the scene. Did you notice the difference? The phrase came to life. You're not just repeating sounds. You're training a real answer, ready to use when you need it. I like to think of every shadowing practice as watering a small plant. You say the phrase once, twice, and it looks like nothing happens. But deep inside, the root is growing. Every time you repeat, the root gets stronger. And then, one day, without noticing, you say, "Good morning, how are you?" Naturally, in it or a real conversation, and the person understands you right away. That's when it blooms. And don't worry about mistakes. Let me tell you a secret. I still make mistakes today. Sometimes I practice a sentence, and when I try it with a native speaker, I mix up the words or stumble. But you know what happens? The native smiles and keeps talking to me. Because in the end, what matters is communication. Shadowing is just invisible training that gets your brain ready for the real game. Now, I want you to imagine a scene with me. You're in a cafe in New York. The waiter comes and says, "Good morning, how are you?" You've already trained this with me, right? So, without thinking too much, you answer automatically. "I'm good, thank you." Look at that. You just lived your first mini-scene in English. That's the power of practice. So, if there's one thing I want you to take from this moment, it's this. Never underestimate simple sentences. They are the foundation. If you train them with dedication, even for only 5 minutes a day, when the real moment comes, your mouth will already know the way. Shadowing is not about memorizing. It's about preparing your body, your voice, and your brain to react naturally. It's like rehearsing a dialogue before stepping on stage. When the moment comes, you simply perform. And I want you to keep this in your heart. Every repetition is a victory. There's no wasted practice. Even that day when you feel like you only spoke wrong, it still counts. Because your ear got sharper, your mouth got looser. So take a deep breath and say with me one more time, like the final line of our rehearsal today. I'm ready to practice. And I know you are. You know what's beautiful about shadowing? It takes away the pressure of memorizing words. You don't need to keep a dictionary open, trying to memorize every little piece like it's a school test. Shadowing makes your brain learn from the inside out. It's training. It's like teaching your body to swim. You don't read a swimming manual. You get in the water and practice. I spent months trying to memorize word lists. I wrote them down, repeated them, even stuck Post-its on the wall. But when it was time for a real conversation, I froze. It was only when I started copying audios, repeating in real time, that words began to flow naturally without me thinking too much. It was like my brain said, "Oh, I've heard this before. Let me say it." And you know what's even better? Every episode here on the podcast is like a shadowing lab. You don't just listen to my story. You train with me. It's different from studying alone in silence. Here, you have company. You feel you're not walking this empty road. It's like walking side by side with a friend who also stumbles, but keeps going. I remember a trip I took to London. I walked into a small cafe, ordered my coffee, and the waiter asked me, "Do you need sugar?" At that moment, without thinking, I answered, "No, thank you." It was automatic. Only later did I realize, wow, that came out without hesitation. And you know why? Because that phrase was already rehearsed in my body. I had repeated it so many times in shadowing that in the real moment, it was like pressing a button. That's the power of practice. Now I want you to think about your own moment. Imagine a few weeks from now. You're at work. Someone says a sentence in English, and you reply quickly, naturally. No stuttering, no translation. You smile inside and think, that came out because I trained. But for that to happen, you need to take the next step. And it's not a giant step. You don't need to study for 5 hours straight. Just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Play an episode. Listen first. Then repeat with me. Open the PDF when you need help. Go back to the parts where you got stuck. This small habit, repeated every day, is what changes the game. I like to think of shadowing as watering a garden. If you water it daily, even a little, the flowers will bloom. If you forget and try to throw a big bucket of water only once in a while, the plant suffers. English works the same way. It needs that daily care, that little bit of constant attention. And I know you might be thinking, but Tommy, can I really keep that discipline? The answer is yes, because you're not alone. Every episode here is a new chance to train, to laugh, to repeat, and to feel your mouth getting looser. I'm here, holding your hand on this walk. So here's my invitation. Start today. Don't wait for tomorrow. When you finish this episode, pick another one here on the channel. Hit play and practice for 5 minutes. Just 5. That's the commitment I want you to make to yourself right now. And to make it easier, I prepared a little gift. Remember what I promised at the beginning? Today's PDF is ready for you in the first pinned link. Inside, you'll find the sentences we practiced and some extra expressions. Grab that PDF, read out loud, practice a little. It's like having a pocket map so you don't get lost. And after that, come tell me in the comments, which sentence did you use today? It can be simple. Even just a "Good morning, how are you?" That came out smoother. I want to hear your victory, because every victory of yours is also mine. So let's close this with energy. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. 5 minutes a day already changes everything. Consistency is more powerful than perfection. And that's the end of another nice talk. But don't worry, tomorrow we'll be back. Until then, grab the PDF in the first pinned link, say the sentences out loud, and meet me here again. I'm Tommy Podcast from English Every Day. Bye-bye.